What's up, sports bettors? I found two early college football bets, so I parlayed them together. There's a lot of value in them. And again, if you're new to the OddsJam YouTube, really what makes this channel unique is we explain to you how the pros make money, how the sharp bettors, people who do this full-time for a living, how do they make money sports betting? Because as shocking as it may be, it's not the guy who watches highlight reels of Georgia scoring touchdowns who makes money betting on college football, right? Those aren't the people. It's the people who understand the markets, the data, and how to find value. And what's so fascinating about sports betting, right, is every bookmaker sets lines independently. The lines on, Bet Online aren't the same as the lines on DraftKings. So you're able to kind of like ruthlessly compare sportsbook lines to one another, since they all want to be unique and set lines independently and look for value, right? And there's so many sports books in the United States, Canada, throughout the world, that you can really treat each sports book as an independent, data point of where the odds should be and find inefficiencies. So the first play I went with is actually an arbitrage bet, right? So arbitrage just means if you had both sportsbooks available to you, you could place a bet on equal and opposite sides and make a risk-free profit, right? Of course, you can't bet on sportsbooks, unlimited amounts of money, so it's not like this is just $1 million you could place on an arbitrage bet and just become super rich overnight. Most sportsbooks only allow, especially when they first release lines, $1,000 bets, let's say. So if you placed an $1,000 bet on Pinnacle, on Georgia, plus 19.5 on this first sports book at plus 116, and then you hit the opposite side on WynnBet. So in an arbitrage bet, you're always betting on equal and opposite outcomes, right? The plus 19.5 and the minus 19.5. And due to discrepancies in bookmaker odds, you make a risk-free profit, right? So here, you'd make a risk-free $28. And this may sound crazy, like how does that even happen? How do sportsbooks, how are they that dumb? How do they screw it up that bad? But it's really not that simple, right? Sportsbooks have millions of odds on their site at any given time. OddsJam updates millions of odds from these sportsbooks in real time. So DraftKings, they have to keep in check millions of odds, right, on their site at all times. Lines are moving, players are getting injured, sharp actions coming in, syndicate volume is hammering lines offshore. It's not super easy for them to never screw up. It's really hard to be perfect all the time. So on a few rare occasions, you'll see there are these line discrepancies, like on FanDuel and Bet Online here, where you can place bets on equal and opposite outcomes and earn a small risk-free profit. This one is a 3% arbitrage bet, which is obviously better than a 1% one if you want to make risk-free money. But long story short, OddsJam will scan the market, kind of updating all the odds in real time to find these betting opportunities for you. So the first play I really liked was Pittsburgh minus 19.5. It's available on bwin or WynnBet, right? So you can see Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, they're pricing this at minus 140. So what happened was Pittsburgh opened as minus 19.5 on every sports book. And apparently all of the early sharp action was coming in on Pitt, since now they're up to 20.5 and even 21 depending on the sports book. DraftKings has them at 20.5 now, so a full point away. So being able to still get minus 19.5 as the market completely moves in the direction of Pittsburgh is great value, right? Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, the most active betting market in the world, they're pricing this at minus 140. So we're getting 30 cents of improvement. It's an arbitrage bet, so we know there has to be a profitable bet here. And again, please watch the video on the end screen about arbitrage betting if you're new to it. And you can just see, most sportsbooks have the line set at 20 or 20.5. And, 20 is a key number in football, right? That's 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. And for a heavy favorite, the jump from 19.5 to 20.5 is a big deal, right? So This is a great betting opportunity on Pittsburgh. Pinnacle has this minus 140, and they have the other side of the market, plus 116. So if you remove the VIG, this bet should be winning 55% of the time. So we'll go here, and we'll put in Pitt minus 19.5. That's the first play I have, and it should be winning 55.75% of the time. And we say this all the time, but right, as a sharp bettor, your job isn't to win every bet. When you're betting at minus 110 juice, like the sharp bettors, the pro sports bettors are winning 55% of the time, right? The break-even win rate for betting at minus 110 juice, to break even in the long run, you need to win 52.4% of the time. So if you can win 55% of the time, you're doing great, right? You could do this full-time for a living if you could win on spreads and totals 55% of the time. And we just found one together that's hitting at a clip of 55.75%. So the next play I have is Texas, North Texas Mean Green, plus 3.5, right? So another bet I found on the OddsJam arbitrage software. So it's a smaller arb, but what you can see is, hey, every sportsbook is setting the line at plus 3, which is obviously a very key number in football. The difference between 3 and 3.5 on the spread is 20 cents, as you can see on Pinnacle. Their alternate spread, right, goes from minus 131 to minus 111. 20-cent difference for 3 to 3.5 because winning by a field goal is so common. WynnBet, only sportsbook with their mainline market at minus 110. So this is another incredibly sharp bet. So if we go and we put Pinnacle's market into a no vig odds calculator, we remove the vig, what you'll see is, hey, we're winning this bet 54.47% of the time. So our parlay has a profit margin of $232, 54.47% of the time. So two really sharp bets. We're staking $2,200 on WynnBet, and my parlay's worth $232, right? Two super sharp bets. Really happy with them. Being able to find these soft spots on sportsbooks where we're getting a spread at 3.5 that the rest of the market has at 3, and then getting, Pitt minus 19.5, two absolutely incredible bets. So using the arbitrage betting tool is definitely super valuable, when you're looking for great plays. So here you can see another example. Ole Miss minus 4.5. Looks like that may be a soft line. We got the Jets in week 2. There's an arbitrage bet kind of coming up. But anyways, I'm sure, we'll have some NFL videos coming out now that NFL lines have started to be posted, and let's make money.